You are listening to the FeedBak
Podcast with my homie Back.
And we're live. Welcome to the FeedBak Podcast, everybody. My name is Back. And always next to me, I got my boy Miko.
How's it going, Back?
Doing well, doing well. Thank you for being here.
Always.
Byron is in the house also.
What up? How's it going?
We have Mike, special guest. How you doing?
Hey, what's up?
Good, good, good. So we're here live at Rattle. And first of all, I want to thank the staff for letting us host this show here. And special shout out to Max Moreland. And we're streaming live on Facebook Live on the FeedBak Facebook page. You can go to, if you're listening to this, we are on facebook.com/thefeedback. And so today I want to talk about music and aging with music.
Really? Just going to put it out there.
Yeah, I am. Well, let me ask y'all this. Did y'all go to Drake show?
I did not.
Did you, Byron?
I did not. No.
Mike?
Negative.
Anybody went to Drake? Did you go to Drake?
No Drakers.
No Drake fans?
No.
Man.
Wow.
I mean,
See?
so here's a challenge that Drake was here during ACL. He was here during South by. Like, we've had a lot of opportunities to see him. So I wasn't about to drop some crazy money to go see him at the Irwin Center, which is not a great venue.
Yeah, but still, he's Drake. So what do you think his age group is as far as his fans?
I think it's a
15?
pretty wide range. Well, no. I knew a lot of people in their 30s that went and saw him. I think he has a.
Oh, I can name a few, actually, yeah.
Yes, he
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
We can actually name some
We know
people
quite
who
a
went.
few.
There's
So
his
Yes.
fans, and then there's the people that could buy a ticket to the show.
That's
And
true.
Those are different overlapping.
Are you a
groups of
Drake fan
people.
yourself?
He never quite grabbed me, but I gave him a shot at ACL. I watched him. He's really good at performing. He's got the whole crowd in his hand. Like
Byron?
he's got that.
A Drake fan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I listen to Drake. I haven't listened
Like
to his
you
new
bought the
though.
albums?
No.
You just know the songs?
Yeah, I know the song.
know the
Can you-
songs. Yeah.
All right, do you
I don't like
remember?
him enough to support him financially.
Like he needs you. Like Drake needs Byron money.
Hey, well,
Gotta get
Well, you
that
too,
Byron
right?
money.
Yeah,
He
I
might
got those.
because I heard he had to dish out money because the show here went over.
Oh, really?
Yeah, after
Ah.
midnight, so he had to actually pay a fine.
How much do you have to pay, do you know?
Thousands, but in the end, dropping a bucket for him.
Yeah.
And you perform at the Franklin Center
Irwin Center, yep.
with Future.
I think Future came out late, so the whole thing started late, and they ended late, which is good. I mean, good fan service in that sense. He stayed
Right.
and did the whole show, but it went over, and he got a little fine as a result, but he paid it.
I don't know. Like I'm not I like Drake when he first came out, and remember what was the song, and the first lines were first name ever, last name greatest.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Forever?
his sprained ankle ain't nothing to play with.
Yeah.
Like I was like, okay, I like
Early
that.
Drake.
I like that. That's
That was
hip
good
hop.
Drake.
And now he started singing. I saw this song called One Dance, which is the #1 on Billboard right now.
Right.
I never heard it until just couple nights ago, and I looked it up, and I'm like, that's what the kids are listening to? This dude is just singing now.
I have not heard it, actually.
You haven't heard
It's-
the song, One
Nah,
Dance?
It's new Drake, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
New
it's
Drake. It's
yeah.
#1.
It's like the production's like real dance hall and like.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. Like, he has right now in the top 10 Billboard, I think he has 3 or 4 songs in there. And 2 of them are in the top 5. So, the thing is, I'm not really a Drake fan because, I grew up with that real hip-hop shit.
Oh,
And I'm proud to
bias,
say
huh?
it.
The
this-
real shit.
I said real shit.
This fight.
Real hip hop shit. And so the reason why I wanted to talk, the reason why I brought up Drake is because, he's appealing to a demographic that's, that younger crowd, the people who do the Hotline Bling dance, who learn the words by heart, which is we're past that at this point. Everybody here is in the late 20s,
We're past
30s,
what?
that age.
Age of.
Of being like the hardcore fan you were when you were a teenager. Like to where you knew the words by heart. You he had the posters. You get the magazines.
I'm definitely past that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there's no.
I mean, Miko
Tiger Beat posters on
at
the
this
wall.
point, he's only got like 2 Drake posters.
I've
so-
taken some down. I had to make room for other
Downsize?
posters.
for
Yeah.
designer.
But the
And
conversation is that you hear a lot as people grow older is, oh well, yeah, this is not music. I know music. I remember back in the day, and you start sounding like your father.
Get
I
off
believe
my
that's what you
lawn.
just did
No,
30 seconds ago.
No.
This is real hip hop. I listened to real hip hop back in the day.
Whatever is real to me. Whatever is real to me. My beef is not the fact that it's popular with the kids and
Okay.
it's not for me. My beef is that the quality of the music is not what it used to be. What I mean by quality, and we talked about it earlier, Mike,
Yep.
is that you look at artists from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and they touch everybody. I dare you to walk up to someone on the street and tell them and ask them, "Hey, do you like Michael Jackson?" And they say no. Or do you like
Well,
Queen?
maybe not because of the music. It might-
Right, because
yeah.
it was like universal is
Yeah,
what I
you get
mean.
a- you get a mixed
what I
response
look
on that
for
sometimes.
now is that quality of music, and I don't see it. I don't hear it. Now, if it's out there,
Was Michael Jackson universal at that time?
it was.
I don't know about that.
In the 80s?
I don't know about that.
I would say he was.
He was in the 80s.
Just from the tours that he went to and people passing
Yeah.
out. and
Thriller,
selling out.
1982. We're gonna argue this?
I mean, it's hard because none of us we weren't the age we are now then to have a better perspective of
I
it.
remember I was 7 years old. I just getting the feel on the street how people felt about Michael Jackson. No.
No, but
I mean,
I
that
mean,
was
Drake might be that guy now. We're just older and can't recognize that.
yeah, but when you talk if you talk about just hip hop, just for now, hip hop, right? When you talk about quality hip hop, you always talk about three people: Kendrick, Cole, and Drake. Those are the like top three right now. Back then, you had Outkast, you had Wu-Tang, you had Snoop, you had UGK. Those are all different. You could say who were the top 20, if not more. And they all had their own thing. And now they all sound the same. Go ahead, argue back, man. I'm sounding like an old man, but fuck it. Fuck it.
yeah. I mean,
You're not even the oldest of us, are you?
You are.
No,
You're like the
I'm a
youngest,
snob. I know I'm a
actually.
music snob. But when you walk into a club and you hear a song and you're like, I don't know what the fuck this is. You look around and everybody's into it. How does that make you feel?
That makes me feel old as shit. Yeah.
Right.
But I also understand that, like, we had the Macarena in the 90s, right? That was real.
That was
That was
us.
a real thing.
That was us, yeah.
And, like, alongside Wu-Tang and B.I.G. and all these guys, there was Vanilla Ice, and there was stuff that we don't remember as timeless that was
Pretty horrible.
that was on MTV at least as much as the good stuff. And so understanding music in context is important to when you start getting burnt out on music today. If you don't think there's good music coming out today, you are really not putting in any effort.
That is true. I'll give you that. The best music was always on the ground, I think. But when you were a kid, you had the time to actually dig into records, or listen to a radio show that would play some stuff that maybe, wasn't that big at the time. You look for that DJ who played the stuff, and you get on there and you hit record and play at the same time on a tape deck, and but the music experience was different, to where you actually sought out music. Buying a record was an experience, right?
The pursuit of it was part of the experience, like finding the music, and when you finally found it, it had more value to you because you had to seek it out. You had to physically go get something. You had to, like I remember after school hauling ass to the record store the first day a record came out, and like
On Tuesdays.
Tuesdays, yeah, not Friday, and and like it was more like it kind of like was more of an event in my life, and now it's just like, oh, what stuff is on streaming that I can pick through and then maybe find something to buy later, Yeah.
So you say that, and correct me if I'm wrong,
Sure.
that the best music is out now.
I think there's a lot of great music out now. And I'm along the court of Mike in that obviously there's great music that's been produced in the different eras, but right now I think there's a higher volume of music being produced. And so I think the ratio is still the same today as it was in the 80s, 90s, or whenever you think it was good.
Mm-hmm.
In that there's a ton of bad music out there. There's even more there's more bad music.
Because it's
than-
all accessible. You have the internet. You can just put it up on SoundCloud, and your
Yeah.
shitty
more
music
bad
will be out in
than
the universe.
Any point in time. Yet there's also more good music than any point in time because there's just a larger amount of both out right now.
Mm-hmm.
But with that large amount of bad music, it's hard to sift through and find the better music.
That's why the stuff
that can be a challenge.
the stuff that stands out is things that are really well curated. That's one of the reasons SoundCloud had such a big bump for a while. Was because there wasn't a filter and people could kind of repost things and you could get sort of tastemakers curating things.
Mm-hmm.
And even what Spotify does now, right? The sort of like Discover Weekly playlist from Spotify. I listen to that thing every week. It's like algorithmically
Same here.
generated
Every
and
week.
I
The whole thing.
I engage a lot. Like if I like a song, I add it. If I skip songs if I don't like it, and it learns all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it puts songs in front of me that I've never heard before that I really like, and I go and I follow all those artists. And it's like, it's nice when there's like a human doing it, if it's, but I think at some point, like I'm all in on algorithmic music discovery, and like, but that is what you need when you have the volume of music that exists in the world today. It's not practical for a human to curate all of it.
Right. It's too much out there.
Well, Byron, just
Robots.
Well, I was gonna say, I do agree that with Miko in terms of there's a lot more good music out there. There's also a lot more bad music out there. I just think when we were younger, we just had music kind of just put in front of us. Whether it was watching MTV, listening to the radio, there was less ability for us to kind of go outside of popular music. We listened to what our parents played, music that our parents listened to. We listened to what our older
MTV
brothers
put
or
on
our
there.
family.
Yeah.
Everything was kind of just like handed to
what,
us to say
or
this
what
is popular.
the label
this is what,
paid the radio station
Yeah.
to play.
Yep.
And so now I'm less dependent on like the radio or MTV or music videos or anything like that. I can go to Spotify or any music streaming service, hear music that I like, and then go off on my own and do my own self-discovery that way.
So there was an article that was published about how once you hit 33, you don't listen to new music, and it was so basically your taste in music matures as you get into your 20s, and then by the time you're about 25, it really drops, and it's stronger for men than women, and so because you remember when you're a teenager from between 12 and 22, the songs of your life, pretty much. Like as you were discovering and forging yourself an identity and becoming you, music was the soundtrack of your life. So prom, your first kiss, the fact that, at the time you would press play and record on the tape deck and, tape whatever song. And so do you feel like that was an accurate depiction of music taste, or do you think that it's somewhat skewed, or what's your take on that study?
I do agree to a certain extent. I'm a fan of the 90s music, and so 90s, that covers essentially the last year of elementary school for me, all of middle school, all of high school, and the beginning of college. So that's like a big chunk, an important chunk of like me growing up, and
right,
like you said, doing some
discovering
myself. So there's a lot of firsts that happened during that time range that I can attach music to. And so when I hear that music now, I can automatically go back, and it's a different time, it's a different feeling, because there was, I was younger, there was less worries, there's less, other things going on. It's more of a happy time.
You didn't have bills.
Yes.
You have responsibilities.
So, but in terms of like not listening to new music nowadays, I'm not so sure about that. I still like to find new music. I do compare new music in hip hop to like older hip hop nowadays. But in terms of just the music in general, I have no problem going out and trying to listen.
Well, you compare the new hip hop to what?
To older hip hop. So in terms of like new music in general, I'm still a fan of and go out and seek new music. But in terms of new music within hip hop, which I kind of grew up with, I always tend to compare like the newer hip hop or the new popular hip hop and mainstream hip hop with what I used to listen to growing up. And I could say, oh, there's no good hip hop music now. There's there's everything's kind of watered down. It sounds the same and blah blah. I can make those kind of assessments about it.
It really does.
But I don't feel that way about music as a whole. I just feel that way about hip hop.
Anybody? Is it the same thing in rock too?
Well, let me throw this out there along his question before we get into rock. Is that do people that love 80s rap think the same thing about 90s rap? And do people that love 90s rap think the same thing about rap going forward? Right? I think someone said in the chat, as Chris put out there. It's all about your generation and what Byron said, what you grew up to. That 10-year chunk in the 90s from elementary to college for him, that's a huge chunk in all those firsts that are happening. So it's really about where you connect in those different areas.
I had heard that anecdotally. I think I heard DJ Shadow say, like, the music you listen to when you're 15 basically is the music you'll listen to the rest of your life. And, you branch off from that and you grow. But, like, 15, I was like 98. I was listening to a lot of...
Date himself.
Yeah.
Do the math. Everybody do the math right now.
Yeah.
How old is Mike?
I'm 33, so this is actually peak Mike for music nerdiness.
So you're going to be on the taste freeze.
This is the last year you're listening to new music.
This is the last year that I have a cool taste in music. And after that, I just complain.
But see, I agree with Byron about how in hip-hop, I don't want to make this just about hip-hop, but this is what I grew up with. In a sense that it is watered down, and if you compare it to what it used to be, it's shit. I'm sorry. But people like it. It sells. You live in a society now where you got to keep cranking songs out, otherwise people forget you. And the younger generation have their attention span about this short. And if you don't keep cranking songs out, people are ready to jump on the next thing.
But you say that, but then everybody gets burnt out on it. But then a Kendrick record comes out, or an Anderson .Paak record comes out, or,
yes,
or something like there's so much music coming out at such a high volume, and there's so much gold in there. It's really not that's where it gets overwhelming, and it's easy to say the stuff that I hear at the club when I walk into the club sucks, which very well might be true for the taste that you've developed. But it's out there, right? You just gotta go get it now. It's not gonna get it's not like the 3 radio stations that are all playing the same songs. You're gonna hear it eventually. You have to go find it. Not everybody does that. Not everybody listens to music.
I do. I go on the ground and I don't listen to radio. That's why when I go out and I hear a song, everybody's like hummina, 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 hummina. I'm like, I don't hummina. Sorry, I don't speak hummina. And how about some apathy or some underground stuff? You're not gonna hear that in the club, of course, when you go out. But I think that it's that formula-based music where the people, the powers that be, know what sells. They know what's marketable. They pick Salento and make it the biggest hit song for kids. And then, where is he now? Designer is not going to have another hit joint, I don't think. It's not going to happen. But that's what I'm saying. For every Kendrick, Cole, or Drake, there are hundreds of Salentos.
That's how it's always been, though.
No, I don't think so.
See,
not back then.
Agree. I
no,
but
you have more contemporary
Miko.
back then. Contemporaries, good artists who would work together and put out good music than you do now.
I think the ratio is probably still the same. I think the barrier to entry is lower.
Yes, definitely. Yeah,
right?
I agree with that.
So you get more just by volume that you got to sort through. And the music industry that we grew up with doesn't exist anymore. No. And if you take your music seriously, you got to go find it.
Agreed.
So
but it's getting easier.
I think some of the aspects you say there's music you like in certain generations and certain eras. Music evolves too, and styles evolve. So the style of 90s music, you're really not going to hear that again. That's from that era. I believe Jay-Z has a line, "You like my old shit, buy my old album." Right.
Or you can
I'm
buy
a different person now.
Or you can buy a Joey Badass record.
You can buy That's awesome. Right? So people evolve and the music evolves, and you have to understand and recognize that too. You may just not like the way it's evolved too. It's not that I think it's hard to say it's bad or good. It's different.
And also like all this stuff goes in waves, right? So like different styles of music that come up through history are reactions to other styles. You know, the classic example being Nirvana being a reaction to like sort of 80s metal excess. And here's are some guys that look like they just got off work at the drugstore and they're, you know, that's like the classic example for this. But like, you know, late 90s, like Puff Daddy, all that stuff, all that style of rap music also was sort of like there was a whole wave of music that was a reaction that was underground on purpose as a direct reaction to that grew into other stuff. Those are some of my favorite records, you know. So like, you know, for every Migos and Designer record and, you know,
humming music.
Like it's just going to, you know, it's all going to come in cycles. It's going to come back around. Maybe not at the same level, but
I don't know. I don't want. I guess I already did, but sound like I'm old and shit. Stop. I'm not old, folks. I'm only 34.
Yeah, but he's old at heart.
Yeah, sure. I'm an old soul. I'll take the old soul. I'll take that. I will take that. But to me, it is the quality that I look for, and you can have mainstream quality music, and that's what was around, you know, 20, 30, 40 years ago, where you had at the same time a Stevie Wonder and a Michael Jackson and a Queen and the Stones. You had that quality of music that everybody was like, you know what, this is good shit.
But 40 years ago, those were the only people that got to make records, right? Like people that got to make albums were people that had an A&R guy that had, you know, it was a traditional label system, and it kind of filtered out people that maybe were not as polished or not as palatable. And now that doesn't exist anymore. So you can get somebody who's got a mixtape selling out of their trunk, and they can get a distribution deal, or maybe not even get a distribution deal. Maybe they just put a mixtape up on DatPiff or whatever, and suddenly it's like all over the clubs. So like that process, which would normally it would filter out people that it would filter out a lot of the music. It doesn't exist in the same way anymore.
It's not a filter by the record label in place as there used to be. So you have a lot of indie music that gets put mainstream. Think of all the people that had mixtapes that blew up big. I mean, one of my favorite artists right now, Chance the Rapper.
Yup.
I don't think he has a distribution label still. He just puts out mixtapes and performs live everywhere.
No, he talks a lot about not getting signed.
He's actually, that's his thing. He specifically doesn't want to be signed.
He talks about what?
Not being signed.
Taking a record deal.
Oh, yeah.
That's a badge of honor for him. So, but back in the 60s, 70s, and even 80s, you had to go through a record label. That's the only way you're going to hit the waves. And I also wanted to add in, you think about, you dropped Stevie Wonder and Jackson and all that. Can you name a bad group from back then? My point exactly.
No, hold on.
No.
Do you think a bad group?
Like bad music back then. It's because there was bad music back then.
Yeah, I can name
South Park Mexican.
Geraldo, Rico Suave.
Stevie Wonder.
Well, I went to the 90s. I was talking more about.
But like
Jackson,
Stevie Wonder and Michael Jackson both came up through Motown, which was this song factory.
Yeah, the music
factory. Like they had a lot of artists that they did not put records out for. You know, like it was like this pipeline of getting songs polished.
Can you name all of the East Coast boys, like the East Coast family, where they had that video and they had all those?
What is East Coast family?
You know, I may be going too down the trenches here, but
Boys to Men, ABC, BBD. The East Coast family.
Michael Bivins, you know, from New Edition, he started like a whole record label and everything.
Okay.
He had a ton of artists he had out there, but few of them actually made it out. Boys to Men did. Another Bad Creation, and then that's really all you've heard of. But they had a bunch of other people, and they were in their music videos, but they never actually made it.
What I'm curious about
MC
is
Brains?
10, 20 years from now, are people going to be listening to what is being played now?
Yeah,
that's going to be, to me, that's the test.
I think so.
Because when you look at every other weekend, there's a 90s party or an 80s party, you know, and the songs they play are songs that, you know, that what's the expression, the test of time, that pass the test of time.
Yeah,
they're already starting to get like 2000s parties.
Yeah, there's a 2000 party at Barbarella. Yeah.
For me, I don't I listen to a lot of music that comes out now, but I don't know if it has if I have the same connection to it, to where 30 years later I can look back and say I'm gonna be listening to this.
You realize you're gonna be a grandfather, and you're gonna talk to your grandkids, and you're gonna talk about 1, 2, 3, and through the 4. You're like, Grandpa, tell me more about that Snoop person. I mean, for real.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the test, but and maybe it's happening all over, but there's always our generation that grew up in the 80s and 90s. There's always going to be an 80s party or a 90s party. When you look at, if just in Austin, we got Groove Theory, New Jack Swing, the Boogie Crew. We got FeedBak parties, also old school.
It sells to that demographic.
And it works.
Yeah.
You went to Maxwell?
I did.
How was that?
It was good. That's a good example of a crossover artist generationally, because he started in the 90s, and he's like pretty much produced one album every decade.
And he's been consistent?
Well, one every decade, so I guess he appeals to a wide range of people for that one album.
It touches a lot of people.
Decade, yeah.
And did you see any young kids at the show? When I mean young, like under 25.
Yeah, there was some. Definitely the majority of the crowd was older. I mean, an old school R&B, like romantic stuff like that, it's going to be an older crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, it's not a high energy crowd. That's young people. So I mean, that was a old crowd to begin with. I think to climb back a little bit on our conversation about the generational side, I give props to Byron. He taught me something about creating playlists. He talked about songs meaning something to you at that point in life because you're going through something, a milestone in your life. And so what I started doing, and Byron gave me this idea a year or two ago, I create playlists for different parts of the year. I have a summer playlist of this, a winter playlist of that, and I date them on a year. And those playlists, I'll come back and listen to them, and it indeed has the same effect.
So
it reminds me of that time when that playlist was curated, and I listened to it the most.
Starting
but you
when?
have to keep redoing them and create a new playlist, but that means you have to keep finding new music.
You have a 1996 summer playlist, a 1989 pop music playlist.
I'm sure I got a cassette tape somewhere around here that has that on it.
For those who don't know, a cassette tape used to be this little object with a magnetic
it's like a
tape
floppy
on
disk.
it.
Oh wait, no.
No shit, and you put it in there
And then you had to put
in
the
the
pencil
machine.
in it when it unspooled.
Like wind it and
Yeah. When auto reverse came out,
like,
that was
you don't
like
have to flip the tape over?
a revolution. It can go backwards again. I don't have to put it out and put it back in.
So yeah, having playlists and then that helps you milestone it to that point in life. You'll never do that if you're never listening to a good amount of new music because you have no music to attach that to that milestones in your life.
Well, you have according to that same article, what they were saying is, so you hit 33 and you don't listen to new music, but then you start having kids, so then you're listening to what they're listening to. So you have a lot of parents out there who are not fans, who like Katy Perry and
Taylor.
Yeah, that one.
that
Swift.
one.
Yeah, that one.
She's like Voldemort.
That-
like
that-
you can't
that's
say
Taylor
her name.
But I can't.
She's got a hold on you.
She whose name cannot be spoken.
Nah, but it just doesn't speak to me, and
Sure.
I've
Music's
always
not that bad. I'm not a big fan of it, but
no. Look, if it works, it works. I mean, she broke records.
she's definitely that's a
same with Katy
milestone for
Perry.
kids coming up in that generation for sure.
Oh, for sure.
They
Yeah.
will listen to her for the rest of her life. Those songs that came out in 08 and 10 and 12.
See, I went to on Friday this Back to the '90s concert in Cedar Park, in that Cedar Park Center, that big ass arena, and the lineup was Tone Loc, Two Live Crew without Luke, Cisco, Sir Mix-a-Lot. There you're laughing already. He's laughing.
Crazy
And En Vogue and Naughty by Nature.
Okay. New Jersey.
And Vogue killed it.
Yeah, En Vogue was dope because
Was it all of them? Because they fight
three.
a lot.
There's three left.
3 left. One of them died.
There were 4 at one
It's
point.
like it's
What
like
you said 9? They were not Wu-Tang.
No, I said
It's like
you said there's
Hunger
3
Games.
left
Yeah,
and one of them
like-
died. Like,
No, I just left the
Dawn
group.
left,
it's
right?
like,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
Hunger
Destiny's Child
Games.
left.
By the end of the tour, there's just one.
Yeah.
She gets paid.
Survival.
Nah, and so Naughty by Nature comes on last, and same thing. I mean, to this day, people still sing OPP and
To this day, the people who heard OPP back then.
yeah. So no, but all that. So what he said was, he started asking in the crowd like, who in here is in their 20s, and not silence,
Silence.
but a few people,
the people that are
30s,
working there.
40s, people like, whoa! And the whole concert was about 4 hours long, and people showed up around 6:30. No, actually, more longer than that. People showed up around 7 o'clock until midnight,
As a mini
drunk out
festival.
their ass. And they were just because these are all the people who grew up with this. Now they got money, so they don't go out much.
Makes a
But when they
difference.
do, they make it count, and they want to hear their jams.
Right.
And when they hear it, I mean, I saw women and guys just losing it.
Losing their
Losing
minds.
it. I'm like, good for you.
But this
Sit
is the
down with
only,
OPP.
and this is the only time a lot of those people for those types of shows. This is the only time they probably get out all year for a live show.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is
And
they're
they probably
gonna
don't
lose.
and I wouldn't assume that they actually take time to, discover new music or have a Pandora playlist or even a Spotify playlist. I mean, my mom is still stuck listening to the shit that she grew up with and nothing else.
I agree. I bet a lot of those people that are at that concert, if any of those, if In Vogue, Naughty, or any of them came out with new music today, they would have no idea. If any of them had come out with new music in the past 15 years, I bet that crowd that was there wouldn't know a single
Or if
song.
they'd come out on stage and been like,
And weren't
all right,
announced.
we're going to play all new stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody
that
wants
goes.
to
Oh,
hear
you
their
like
stuff.
them. You like that style, huh? No. You
Yeah.
just like the songs
Which is
that you
fair,
remember from that milestone in your life.
Did you
Really
have a
go back to-
moment when you realized that you were out in the bar or the club and you were like, I'm too old for this shit, music wise, not for going out, but music wise? Like, do you have? You're 33, so maybe it hasn't happened for you yet.
Yeah.
We're all in the same range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think the when I see the new dance crazes, like the Watch Me Whip, Watch Me Nay Nay, and like the Quan.
Keep doing
That stuff just confused me and made me feel really old. But once I saw what was going on, I was like, oh, that's what the kids are into these days. That's
Now
or like
watch
when
me whip. Yeah,
what-
Salento.
or like when that remember when I'm from the Bay Area when all the hyphy stuff was coming up with
Ah,
E40.
Yeah.
I was like, what's happening? I feel like my brain just broke. Like I don't even know what's going on.
Do you
ride the
dab?
whip.
Do you dab?
I dabble. No.
You dabble?
Very
You
nice.
dabble in dab,
Well
or you
played.
dab? You dabble in dab? You don't dab in public?
I just,
Yeah,
nah.
nah.
Just maybe in the shower when no
I'm
one's
gonna
around.
dab. I'm gonna dab. I'm gonna dab. I'm gonna dab.
Yeah.
Man, it's just the moment it happened for me was this South by Southwest.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think I brought it up when we did the recap. I was at the Live at the Barbecue show with Nas. Ha ha.
Peanut gallery.
So
Wait, what? Hold on.
we need to increase the volume. Sorry, everyone, if you can't hear us.
Sorry. You can't hear us now? Check, check.
Is that better?
That's fine. We can cut that
the
thing out.
If the stream's
Yeah,
fine,
better?
then
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Continue.
All right, so I'm at Live at the Barbecue, which is Nas's party. It's Nas. Nas been around for a long time,
I
right?
was there.
And he brings on Large Professor, who's a dope producer. And Large Professor drops Annie Up, M.O.P.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking around, and I see 10 people go, Annie Up, nap that fool. And everybody else was just, what is this? And I thought, holy shit, these kids don't know Annie Up. And there's 10 other motherfuckers like me in this crowd who are just wilding out. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And it really hit me. And I left after that because I sat through 2.5 hours of humming hip hop just to get to Large Pro and Smith & Wesson and Buckshot.
Okay.
And then after that, I was like, fuck it. I can't take any more humming stuff.
I think a challenge you have. I mean, I'm not surprised only 10 people did that. I think it's two factors: age and region. So a lot of
No, Annie Up was huge, all countrywide. I think it was. You could be
I
in
mean,
the
I
South
know
or in
the
the West.
song.
Yeah.
I think the hypeness it gets you is not the same hypeness it gets me. And me being Southern, a lot of that music, Buckshot and all them are bigger, much bigger on the East Coast than they are
Sure.
down here. So you're not going to get the big pull. Just like if UGK played up in New York, they're not going to get the big. In addition to being older, They
Uh-huh.
also didn't grow up with that. They don't know that style of music. They don't appreciate that style of music.
But there was a lot that was
People who are
crossover.
casual fans might not have known MOP. Like people who are casual fans on the East Coast might not have known.
It was a hip hop
UGK.
show. If it was
But
anything
to be
else,
fair,
a festival.
that
man.
was reaching pretty deep in like. I
yeah,
thought
I
it
think
was.
so,
I
too.
thought it was awesome that they had Buckshot and like all those
Sure.
people like on the lineup. But I think they do that also knowing that it's like we're gonna put these people in front of people that might not know them because they're
Discovery
getting
aspect,
co-signed
yep.
by DJ Khaled or Nas or whoever. You know.
No, I mean,
We the best.
go ahead.
That's it. I mean, just co-signing.
So let me. We can play some games. We got a few people here. If you wanna, you wanna. Well,
Hey,
it depends on.
since
It
they're
depends
here-
if you answer the question right. All right. All right. We're gonna play a little
Tight.
trivia here. Grab the wireless mic.
It could be Mike Runner slash.
Let me get it right over here. We can just hand it to me, right?
Check it real quick. Is it on?
Yeah, it's on standby, I believe.
Is it on?
Check.
Oh, there you go.
Check.
Man, this motherfucker. I'm gonna buy you a sweater. just for the summer, I'm gonna buy you a sweater, Kenny.
I don't know what you're
Come,
talking
come,
about.
come around here. Come around here so
Well,
people can
it
see
looks
you.
like he was wearing one.
And
And he
actually, no,
flexed
stay
and
over there so
And
people
it
can't see you.
That's what it is. This was actually a sweater, but I busted out of it. Too much.
Why the
Yeah,
deep
too
voice,
much.
though?
Cut him.
Too much.
I'm gonna
Too
leave
much.
the
Yeah,
face.
get off, please.
I'm gonna
You got
leave-
the steroid voice.
I'm
bro.
gonna
Yeah, no.
That's
This is,
it's my wrestler voice. Okay, that's my Triple H voice.
no, this is, you're getting scary now. Getting scary.
All right, so
All right,
what-
question.
Security.
wait. First of all, what's the prize? What do I win?
Get a drink.
Yes.
You
Oh
get a drink?
man, I'm ready to get this.
There you go.
This is out to
Let me
all
get
the people in
Patron,
here.
no, just kidding.
On the bottom shelf.
First
All right.
question.
Wait, can it be kind of easy? Like, I want to win.
Well, if you don't know, pass the mic.
Okay.
All right.
There you go.
Fair enough. All right. Question number 1.
Okay.
Aretha Franklin's Respect.
What about it?
She says the famous line, R-E-S-P-E-C-T, find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, fill in the blank.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
What? What she said?
Sit back and dance with me.
No. Jim, do you know?
Wait. R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
Found out
First
what it
person to
means.
get it.
Yes.
Wow. I don't know. R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
Do any of y'all know the answer?
Find out what it means
to
to
me.
me.
Check in the- in the-
R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
Might be too early on the
judges.
on
Go
the
to
chat.
judges.
Sit back to me, sit yeah.
Say, say what?
Sit back to me, sit
Yeah,
Jim,
those
what
aren't
is
real
it?
words. That was
Yep.
scat.
That was scat, actually.
Marcy, do you know?
Do you know?
I don't know.
Do you know?
No, she's Googling it. That's cheating.
Ah, yes.
That's cheating. I can Google
I know.
it.
Sock it to me. Sock it to me. Sock it to me.
Well,
sock it to me.
everybody knows that
All right,
part.
give me the second question. Skip the first one.
I can't give the answer because I know.
Skip
Okay,
the
what
answer,
is
too
it?
late. No one knows. They're gonna
All right,
Google it.
never mind. I'll tell the answer later. All right, finish the lyric.
All right, here we go. Got it. I'm right here. Wait, there we go.
I said a hip hop.
Hippity, hip, hip, hop, you don't stop. It's a bang, bang.
Nope.
Take it.
No. Oh, that was horrible.
I'm an
Nope.
R&B singer, guys. I'm
Yeah,
an R&B
whatever, whatever.
singer.
Jim, you want to take a stab at it? Come on, give me the mic.
No. Not everyone knows the song.
Huh?
Not everyone knows.
Just
early
that
hip-hop.
that one line. All right, Echo.
What's up?
I said a hip hop.
Hippity hop to the hip hop and you don't stop. A rocket to the bang bang boogie. Sit up, jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to beat.
Damn!
Now what you hear is not a test.
I'm
I'm
just rapping
rapping
to
to
the
the
beat.
beat. I got the feedback right behind me and I'm chilling. You see me with the flow so sick and I spit this. Okay.
You won.
Okay, wrong.
No. That was horrible. You got it right. All right, get yourself a drink. Echo, get yourself a drink. Congratulations. Congratulations. All right. Last question. Actually, this goes out to damn, what I forgot her name.
I don't know.
What's the name of the bartender?
They're good. They got it.
Oh, that's
The show
fine.
must go on.
All right. Which bar in Austin was named after a Johnny Cash song?
Ooh.
Which bar in Austin was named after a Johnny Cash song?
Floppy disk repair.
The Rattle Inn.
Ow.
No.
Survey says.
I just wanted to say
Whammy.
it because we're here.
Good shout out.
Sorry.
Good
No,
shout
I
out.
appreciate it.
Who?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, the
We have
Mean
a
Eyed
winner.
Cat.
Mean-eyed cat.
Mean Eyed Cat, by the way, over there on West 5th, right off of Mopac when you get off, take the
Right by
exit.
Sushi Zushi.
Across from El Arroyo.
Across from Oreo with a great
Yep,
sign.
Mean Eyed Cat.
Next to
All
the
right, last
condos.
question. Last question. Who sang about a waitress working at a cocktail bar? The name of the artist
didn't?
and the name of the song. Who sang about a waitress working at a cocktail bar? Artist and song.
Who? There's a ton of those.
Billy
That's
Jean?
how the song starts.
I'm in love
T-
with a stripper.
T-Pain, I'm sprung.
No? You got the answer? Jim? She was working at a... Yeah.
Wait.
Grab the mic, grab the mic, grab the mic. You want to sing too? No, you want to win? So what's the name of the artist and the song? Give him the mic. Who was it?
Talk it out.
Talk it out.
Like it's
That
Who Wants
you-
to Be a
like,
Millionaire.
you'll get into like
The
the,
song was in rotation.
into the mic, into the mic.
Baha's Take on Me.
Okay.
It's a good song.
into the mic.
In that wheelhouse of 80s,
It might be off.
kind of
You
new
might turn it
wave
off.
inspired stuff. What was your hint at the beginning? That it was the name of the artist is
The,
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 beginning of the song?
the name of the artist and the name of the song.
It's on.
Okay, that wasn't a hint. We need to name the artist.
Yeah, give me the artist. The song starts with, she was working as a waitress
So
at
the
a...
name of the song is Don't You Want Me Baby.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. What's the name of the band?
And the name of the band,
Bow, 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 bow.
That's
trying to help
that's
him.
not helping. That's not helping.
Ah, sorry, I'm trying.
That's throwing me way off because that makes me think of this theme from Sanford and Son.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, now I'm back 2 decades on that one. Don't You Want Me by, I don't know, is it Future League?
I think you just.
Oh, yeah, one word right.
What'd you say?
Future League?
I think I'm getting
Second
a
word's
drink.
correct.
Human
What's-
League.
Yes,
Human
Human League.
Human League.
Get yourself a
is
drink. Congrats.
The artist.
Congrats. Thank
That was
you.
like regression
Jace.
therapy. That was back in my brain somewhere. Thanks for bringing that up.
Human League. Don't you want me, baby? By the way, the Aretha Franklin, it's Take Care TCB. Take care TCB. TCB means take care of business.
She just couldn't fit that in, so she abbreviated
Take
it.
care TCB.
Yeah.
But it's funny because when a song drops and you just waiting for someone to just say, like, all right, you're a retard. That's not it.
I'm just waiting for a socket to me.
Yeah,
The other
everybody
song
goes,
is
oh, yeah,
just-
suck it to me, suck it to me.
The
Everybody
other
got
song that
part.
does that is "Get Up Off of That Thing" by James Brown. Get up off of that thing. It's just
It's funny what he's saying, though.
Yeah.
It's
Those
James
are
Brown.
the
It's
I
funny
actual
what
looked
he's
it
saying.
up. I looked it up.
Those are the actual
He says,
lyrics.
"Just dance and you'll feel better."
Oh.
But he's like in the James
Didn't know
Brown
that.
way of saying that.
Wait,
Wow.
so I think of it. There was another. Never mind. We're gonna keep moving. So, been talking about discovering new music because that's where it's at. Don't necessarily rely on the mainstream stuff.
Right.
Do your homework. Build playlists. So, Miko, how do you?
Yeah, we've talked about a couple things so far. I think a lot of come up, so let's kind of try to frame this
Sure.
in a way. So one, of course, is how do you find that new music? And there's streaming services out there plenty. Mike was mentioning Spotify. It's one of my favorites as well. They will, if you're a registered user of Spotify and have some playlists and some music out there you started and liked, they'll curate a 30-song playlist for you every week, personalized to you.
Spotify does it.
Spotify does it.
Discover
I thought
Weekly.
it was all people
Discover
doing
Weekly.
it.
No,
I'm
it's,
not on Spotify,
it's
so.
An algorithm.
algorithmically generated. I saw a presentation by the guy who runs that team. It was a company called Echo Nest, who Spotify absorbed, and it's the technology behind it's really amazing. They look at like a lot of different metrics. They look at like reviews and keyword searches and tags, and they have humans like actually tagging songs for qualities, and then they match them up. It's like It's really fascinating, but
Oh, wow.
it's even more fascinating because it totally works. Like
It worked, yes. There's a lot of songs. I would say every week when I actually listen through it all, I'm probably grabbing, of that 30, over 50%. I'm adding to other playlists I have. I mean, so they're pretty spot on.
That's pretty
with it.
good.
I'm actually pretty mad when I miss a week. I'm like, fuck.
Every-
Those are songs I could, at the end of that week, if you don't grab them, they're
Yeah.
gone.
Really?
You never.
I mean, you grab them as in you add them to your
Add 'em to a
playlist,
playlist, yeah.
or you
but
download.
yeah, but after a week it'll like
It's
refresh.
gone. There's
It
no way to
manages.
get it back.
Manages at this point for me. Almost every week it puts another MF Doom song that I haven't heard on there, which is I've heard a lot of MF Doom, but it's like here's some random band that has like an MF Doom verse on it, and it's just like, so I don't know, it's great.
So there's other services out there like that. I mean, iTunes has their radio stations. Pandora's, I think, one of the originals that everyone remembers or knows.
That was the best part of Pandora for me was I would consistently hear music I had never heard
Yep.
before.
Yeah.
Same here.
And I'm always chasing that. I mean, I'm 33, so I guess I'm done with that.
The taste freeze, man. It's
yeah,
there. It's coming.
yeah.
It's coming.
So I mean, that's a big point. One is that you want to. Everyone probably has a streaming service that they use. Most people have a streaming service that they use.
Sure.
And within that streaming service, there's likely something. There's likely something where it has a discovery option. So utilize those because it's basing it off the music that you already listened to, and that's just a big angle for it. So that's one. Any comments on that before I move on past that?
I on Spotify.
Well, just streaming,
Well-
discovery through streaming in general.
Oh, okay. No, go ahead. I have another point.
Spotify,
We can go
SoundCloud still has a lot of people. There's a
SoundCloud.
lot of accounts where
I
it's people
use
just aggregating and
Google
reposting
Music.
things, and there's
I Shazam.
yeah.
So that's my next topic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do
So-
that. I do that.
So that's a different because although it can pair up with your streaming services, right? So Shazam, for those who don't know, hopefully you all know, is it allows you to if you hear music
with Shaq,
It
right?
is.
We're
Shaq,
talking about
right?
yeah.
So Shaq,
Really?
you
Take
take
you do it, and Shaq will find the song for you and
out
bring
of the
it to you.
genie bottle, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Shazam is
My
an
name's
app
Shaq. What are
where
you
you
listening
can,
to?
if you're hearing music,
I'll find out what you're
you
listening
can-
to.
if you're hearing music, you can open up this app and actually tag that music. It's an app. You just hit a button, and it listens to the music that's playing, and it'll actually tell you what it is. So you can be at the mall, at buying clothes, at the grocery store, at a club, at a bar, at a lounge. Hear something you like, tag it. It gives you the
At the
At the
details.
food court
This
at
is
the
Shaq.
mall.
And
with your
if there
friends.
is a mall, and and then you can link that to your streaming service if you have them,
I don't know the song.
Amazon, Spotify, et cetera, to then start listening to that. So I've discovered a lot of music through Shazam. Oh, I'm listening to this. I'm at wherever I'm at. Let me tag that. Or I'm at a bar lounge. That's
Sure.
pretty good. And so I have my own separate Spotify playlist just for shit I've tagged through Shazam.
Right.
And then from there, in that category, it gets doled out to my other playlists. And so that's a good one. There's actually one for live music as well. It doesn't work great because live artists play their music differently. I mean, artists play their music differently when
Yeah,
it's
that's
live.
probably tough.
Yeah,
like
it
technologically,
doesn't work
unless
great.
it's a rap show where they're rapping over their own song, then it's essentially
There's a
just
lot of
Shazam.
those. Unfortunately.
I
find Shazam to be pretty great for doing that linkage and discovering new music. And there's a level of etiquette I give you out there if you use Shazam. And you have friends out there that are playing a playlist. Me and Byron do this to each other all the time.
Mm-hmm.
If I Shazam something that someone else is playing, I give them their credit. Like, you know what, man, that's a pretty good fucking song you found.
What do you mean you give him the credit?
I got to Shazam that. Like, that's a good playlist.
He
I
doesn't
Oh.
turn around and say, "Listen to this new song I just
just
discovered
found."
all by myself organically."
Like, wait
He
a
says.
minute.
Like, give props to people that helped you to discover new music.
Mm-hmm.
I wish Shazam even had a way to like tag someone. Like, yeah, just like I'm sharing it. I learned music through this person, or this person helped me discover that.
I still use the web a lot, like Hype Machine. It's got a lot of like more electronic stuff and kind of indie rock stuff. A lot more hip hop these days, but that's sort of like a curated list of things that are on blogs. And it's kind of weighted like by how many people favorite it, and they have trending stuff. I find a lot of stuff there. There's a lot of there's a hip hop blog I read called Pigeons and Planes, and it's all just like new hip hop stuff coming out, like weird indie stuff, and like I don't know, like. But I absorb and ingest music at sort of a freakish volume.
Right.
So
See, I'm more. I don't use Spotify. I don't use Pandora.
I'll make you a cassette. That's cool.
Thank you. Make me a
mixtape.
cassette.
A
Make me a
mixtape.
cassette tape. I still have a Walkman somewhere in my closet. No, but I'm a big fan of DJs, and I let DJs introduce me to music. I grew up. My older brother's a DJ, so I grew up listening to new shit all the time because it's like, hey, I just got this record, you gotta check it out, and that's how I found out about a lot of '90s hip hop because I was in France at the time, so it wasn't as big over there. Stuff from here, and there's one station I listen to, and I want to give a big shout out. It's We Funk Radio, and I've been listening to these guys since for over a decade now. And there's these two DJs out of Montreal. They've been doing it since 1997, and it's nothing but funk, hip hop, underground hip hop, soul, and break beats. And they have over 800 shows. You can go to the wefunkradio.com. You can sign up and get an account. It's free. And for every show, there's the full playlist. And you just let it play. And then for every track, it is all mixed. They'll have guest DJs and everything. But for every track, you can actually favorite tracks, favorite entire shows. And for each track, you can find out more about the artist and go to iTunes to buy the record or buy the album or whatever.
I listen to Solid Steel, which is a radio show that's been going on for 25 years from the UK, from the Ninja Tune label, and it's all that stuff. It's like a guest DJ playing freeform, and and the most important part, they publish the playlist of every single song they played, every little thing that they cut in, and like they drop an acapella over something else. Here are all the songs we played. And I've found so much great music through there. Any place where the DJ gets to play whatever they want, I tend to really get into it. Like
I do too.
Yeah,
Local independent radio, or just independent radio in general, is what you want. Not
especially if you live in a college
town.
College
Like that.
radio
NPR is actually good. If they have some, I've discovered a lot of music there. Corinne Bailey Ray is one I always talk about.
Have you guys Shazammed the bumper music on NPR? Like they place it like in between stories. It'll be like some like pretty awesome stuff.
I have.
Like at NPR in town, they're playing like some like pretty left field stuff, but it's great. I'm like, what is that? It's like Fortet or MF Doom or like some random producer.
I don't know, but I wanna bring up Jim Lewin here from Freak Show. Come on up.
Grab the mic. So
Grab the microphone.
Of discovering new music.
Yeah, come on around this way.
As you discover new music, you may wonder, like when I Shazam something, Shazam does give you a little bio of an artist, but sometimes that's not always an option. Sometimes I hear live music, and we'll get to this at festivals or concert and shows, an opening act that I haven't heard before, and I really like them.
Mm-hmm.
I can't necessarily Shazam them, and I can't use that other crappy app for live music. I just have to write it down and Google it later and try to find it. But I believe you have something that helps for that type of scenario.
Yeah, we do. We created a music platform called Freak Show. And Freak Show is a music discovery and entertainment platform that's very visual, very video-oriented. And it allows you to create video music channels for any artist on the planet that has a digital presence out there. Freak Show's job is to go out and find enough information about that artist, video information, photos, info, social media, tour dates, anything that really relates to
that. Is that like an
artist.
algorithm you have scraping, or is a person doing it?
Yeah, that's a great question. We have a separate algorithm in each one of those categories that goes out and tries to find the best available artist-relevant content. So there's a lot of services out there that are you can go do a search, but it's not necessarily doing a music-specific search for artists. And you can imagine there are some bands that, if you name your band Babes, and there are two bands that are actually called Babes, but if you're just doing a general search for them, you're going to come up with a totally different set of videos than you would if you search on a platform like Freak Show, where we're music specific, and the goal is to help you find the artists that you're looking for that are out there making music and playing live.
So you search for the artist, or do you search, like you have to already know the artist that you're looking for?
Right now, we're geared to start your search with an artist. Very soon, we'll have song search capabilities. So if all you have is a song that you Shazammed, and you're in a club or you're out listening to music and you were able to get just a song, you could start there. But right now, you start with an artist name, or you could start with a genre. You can say, I just want to listen to hip hop and let's discover some new artists, or it's rock, or it's punk, or it's folk, or it's country, whatever it is. You can start there. And Freak Show will, if you start there with a genre, it'll start creating playlists, video playlists of artists in that genre that we think you'll find interesting. And from there, you can go to any one song in a playlist, and you can freak that artist, which is essentially creating a video music channel for that specific artist, which also lists all the similar artists that are related to that artist based on similar artist engines that are out there, and also the pool of Freak Show users who are looking for those artists, and we'll make suggestions as you go. So if you're a hardcore fan and you know what you're looking for, and I think that's a lot of what you guys were talking about earlier, when you know what you're looking for, you can get out there and you can dig in. But
Right.
if you are more of a casual fan and someone either recommended a band to you or you happen to catch a set when you were out, you can start with that band and go on a music discovery course from there.
That's interesting. I didn't get to the music discovery part, so it's good to know it has that. You just start with an artist that you like. That's how Pandora is a little bit, right? Give me an artist name, and then we'll start suggesting things from there. That's a little bit what you're doing.
Yeah, and one of the fun things that we implemented this year before our public beta release was the opportunity for users to freak mix the artist. So if you start with a band that you know you like, could have been any of the bands that we were talking about, even Human League, if you wanted to start there. And you can start with that artist, and right on that main page for the artist is a button that says freak mix this artist. And what it does is it takes that artist and a bunch of similar artists to that artist, and it creates a video playlist for you for all of that mix of artists.
When did you guys launch?
The first public version of Freak Show launched at the end of last year, just in time for us to tweak it for South by Southwest. And South by Southwest 2016 was really when we put it out there into the world. The private beta launched a year before at South by Southwest, and that was the first time we invited people to help us test it and get in there and really try the platform out.
And what's your, you know how many artists you have in there, in your database?
Well, the one thing to remember is Freak Show is not a database.
Right, I mean.
So it's I can.
Yeah, virtual.
Well, yeah, so right now.
Talking to the mic.
Sorry, when I say that about Freak Show not being a database, it's a dynamic system of algorithms. So it's constantly updating all of those channels, and it's also constantly updating the artists that we're looking for. So if you guys go in tonight and you look for artists that we've never heard of or no one's ever freaked in using the platform, Freak Show will now look at those artists, create those channels, look at those similar artists, and bring them into the fold so that we can provide an experience for each one of those that'll be just as robust as the ones that we already have. So it's a dynamic system that keeps going. But to answer your question, that builds. So now our universe of artists that we're looking at, it's in the six figures at this point. So there's a lot of artists that people have been. We've only really recently launched, and for all intents and purposes, there's not been a lot of advertising yet. We're just kind of out there, and we're still, very much a public beta, if you will.
Right.
But just through people searching and using the platform to explore, we've got a bunch of artists that are on the radar screen that are in that ecosystem that are updating all the time for people to check out.
Cool. So Freak Show, how you spell Freak Show?
It's
It's important.
Yeah, because people go, if you Google that, you might get something different.
That's a good point. It's FreqSho.com.
Good deal. Freakshow.com.
Freak Show. How can they access it? They have to go online? Is there an app?
Yeah, right now Freak Show exists as a web-based platform, so we operate through
mobile accessible.
We have a decent responsive design app, but it does work through the browser. So we don't have a native app for mobile yet, but that's coming out as soon as we can get to that level and expand it. But yeah, it's a web-based app that runs, Chrome, Safari, and Firefox are the main ones that we're on, and we'll be expanding that as well. And right now, anybody can go on and check it out. It's
nice.
Open to the public, and we're psyched to get people using it so we can see how to improve it and make it as hefty an experience to get people out there and discover music that they dig.
It's a good idea, Jim. Appreciate you doing
good
it.
deal. Freakshow.com. Go check it out. Go to the website. Search artists. Make your own video channel. That's awesome, man. Congrats.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Cool. Thanks.
One other thing on discovering music that I do, not all of them, but I'm into, the streaming music and finding music on, TV shows or even in movies. But I also just go old school and just talk to other people and say,
go analog.
I go analog. And
Like in the real world?
Yeah, like in the
You
real
mean
world.
you talk to
human,
people?
Human
You don't
interaction.
text them?
Like Pokemon, right?
You don't
Like,
Pokemon search them?
Yeah,
You actually
something
talk
like
to
that.
people. Holy shit. You must weird them out.
Yeah. So, I work in an office, and so there's several people that have the, Spotify up or whatever they listen to for music while they're working. And, I'll talk to them, like, what do you have up? What are you listening to? Share music that way. Hear about new bands that I'd never heard of before. Or if I know my friends' taste in music, I'll text them, be like, hey, check out this person, or check out this song. And they'll do the same with me. And they'll put me onto new music and new albums or songs that I hadn't heard before. So definitely spread the word. If there's something that you like, then put it out there.
I saw you out and you put me on that Odyssey
Oh, Odyssey.
You didn't know Odyssey? But
so good.
Odyssey is the shit.
Yeah. So, yeah, the perfect example. I told him about Odyssey, and he checked it out. He loved it. And I've heard, several and tons of good music from him. So, just like the radio stations that y'all talk about that you go to, the We Funk, I hadn't heard of that, but I'll definitely check that out. So,
it's a little bit of everything.
Definitely communicate with your friends. Let people know, like, what you're listening to, what's good. And don't be afraid to, ask other people, like, what they're into, what gets them going. Because there's, like you said, there's a ton of music out there, and there's a million ways to discover it.
Exactly. Cool. You want to get into picks? Yeah, I'll picks.
I don't have, funny enough, I don't have a ton of picks for this weekend. I can say that, let's see, the end of this weekend, there's a show going on. This is my own. We don't talk about rock a lot, but Steve Miller Band's going to be here.
Okay.
That's a big old school band for those that like rock. They're going to be at the Long Center. And just as far as events go, 101X, I love the music cinema thing. That music cinema. Well, they do music in cinema.
Mm-hmm.
The movie at the Long Center, a movie at
Sound
the
and Cinema.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So I believe that's this Wednesday, and they're showing The Goonies, one of my favorite old school movies. I believe they're remaking The Goonies.
Why? Hollywood, come up with some new shit already.
Yep.
They're doing another Back to the Future, too. Why?
I heard they're not.
They're
I
not?
back and forth. Yeah, I heard they decided not to.
Oh, good. We don't need another one. Enough of these remakes.
So those are my two picks. It's not necessarily a weekend pick because Sound and Cinema happens, I think, on Wednesday. But do bear that in mind. It's a good look if you've never been out there and discovered.
I got a show I'm going to on Thursday at the North Door.
What is it?
Anna Wise. So she's a songwriter, producer, kind of electronic, beats like a little bit poppy. She was a big collaborator on the last two Kendrick records.
Nice.
And she won some Grammys for some of those songs. She's like heavyweight. She's really good. And she has a band called Sunny Moon. And they're playing, and Keeper, who are local, who are great.
Yeah, Keeper.
They're
Keeper.
opening
They've
up.
been on the
That's
show.
at the North Door on Thursday.
Nice.
Noted.
How much? Do you know? $5?
$10.
$10? Good.
That's not bad at all.
So you should go.
Pretty good. I got a few picks for the weekend around the same thing of old school music. There's an 80s party at the Highball on Friday with Colin Jack Burton, and it's a cover band, but they do all the 80s stuff. So I don't know women out there who doesn't like an 80s party. Actually, I know one. Sorry. I know one.
She's not invited.
Yeah, she's not going anyway. Saturday, Soul Night at the Highball. Highball has a lot of old school stuff with D-Soul Davis and the Art of Soul. I saw them one time, and they can jam. I mean, they're doing all Motown, all the old school stuff, 60s, 70s, and they got their own songs too. So definitely good to check out. That's Saturday night. And Sunday, Miss Lavelle White at Entones at 5 o'clock. She used to play with Aretha Franklin, James Brown, Otis Redding, so she's up there, and her voice is pretty amazing. And she's Texas Music Hall of Fame. Sorry, did I say Hall of Game? Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame inductee.
How much is it, Anthony?
$5 at the door at Antone's on West 5th. I mean, East. Yeah, it is. No, it's E5th by the West End, across from the West End.
Oh, but yeah, is that this Sunday or next Sunday?
Next Sunday.
Okay.
Sunday, whatever the, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you want to wrap this up?
Let's do it.
Yes, sir. So, thank you. Big shout out to the Rattle Inn. Shout out to the staff. Shout out to Max Mullen for letting us host this show. Thank you, Byron. Thank you, Miko. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you,
me.
Jim. Shout out to the audience. Thank you for being here. We'll still have a tab up. Thank you, Chris. Video, live streaming. We're going to keep doing this. Really enjoy it. And we'll talk to you next time. And make sure you follow the FeedBak. I should have started with that, actually. Make sure you follow the FeedBak on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can review the podcast on iTunes. It helps with the rankings. And you can also donate at thefeedback.com/donate. And that goes towards equipment. We're trying to get a better camera than the one we got. So that will definitely help. I appreciate the support. And we'll talk to you next time.
Until next time.
Ciao, ciao.